How my son wants to remember his mother. Last week I was putting laundry away in my son's room. He's 17, so mostly that means dropping the basket on his bed and getting out. But when I set it down, a little square of paper slipped out of his gray hoodie pocket and landed on the floor. I picked it up without thinking, then I stopped. It was a sticky note, laminated, the edges worn soft and round, one corner starting to crack, her handwriting. Big day, you've got this. Love, Mom. I sat down on his bed and read it 30 times. My first thought was junk mail. My second thought sat me down. I knew that handwriting the way you know a voice, some background. My wife used to hide notes in his lunchbox every single morning from kindergarten on. Little stuff. Good luck on the spelling test. You're braver than you think. Dumb doodles of the dog. She never missed a day. It was her thing. She used to say, I don't miss things. That's the whole job. Then 6th grade happened. Some kid at his lunch table grabbed one of her notes and read it out loud in a baby voice, and my son came home with his ears bright red and begged her to stop. I remember her face. She laughed it off, said, okay, no more notes. But that night she told me it was the first time he'd ever asked her to back off. She wasn't sad about the note. She was sad about the growing up. She died when he was 14. He's 17 now. I didn't put the note back in his hoodie. Pretending I hadn't seen it felt worse than snooping. So I left it on the kitchen counter where he'd see it, and I waited. He came down that night, saw it, and didn't get upset. Didn't even flinch. He picked it up careful, like it was made of glass, and said, I figured you'd find it eventually. Then he said, I'm getting it tattooed. Her handwriting. Exactly like this. Right here. And he tapped the inside of his forearm. I said no before he even finished the sentence. Pure instinct. 17 years of dad reflex. He didn't argue. He didn't roll his eyes or storm off. He pulled out a chair, sat down next to me, and quietly told me things I didn't know. The morning of her surgery, she packed his lunch like it was any other day. It was supposed to be routine. He was 14 and half asleep, and he said bye through a mouthful of cereal. Didn't even look up. The school called before lunch period, so he never opened his lunchbox. It sat in his backpack for a week. When he finally cleaned it out, the note was there. The last one she ever wrote. She'd broken her own rule and snuck one in 5 years after she promised to stop. Big day, you've got this. Love, Mom. He's carried it since the funeral. 3 years in his wallet. He laminated it himself with packing tape in 7th grade so it wouldn't fall apart. I never knew. 3 years, same house, same table every night, and I never knew. Then he told me the part that keeps him up at night. He's the one who made her stop. He did the math once. 5 years of school days between 6th grade and that morning. Almost 900 notes he told her not to write. He said the tattoo isn't just about keeping the last one. It's about all the ones he didn't let her write. I still had my arguments. I'm a dad. Collecting arguments is what we do. You're 17. What if you regret it? What about jobs? What about needles? What about when you're 40? He took each one calm, like he'd already had this fight with himself and won. He'd even checked the law. 17 is legal in our state if a parent is present and signs. I asked why not just frame it or keep a photo. He said a photo lives in a phone and he loses his phone twice a week. Then I said, what if the tattoo fades? He looked at me and said, Dad, the note is fading. He held it up to the kitchen light, and he was right. The ink is going gray. The tape is peeling at one corner. I can't keep her in my wallet forever. Paper doesn't last. I want her somewhere that lasts as long as I do. I didn't have an argument for that, so we made a deal. 2 months. He thinks about it hard. I make my case. He makes his. If he still wants it after 2 months, I'll drive him there myself and sign every form they hand me. He agreed. Said it'll be small, actual size, just her words, and it's the only tattoo he'll ever get. Then he showed me his phone. He'd already found the artist. She does handwriting work, old letters, grandma's recipes. He'd been following her page for a year. A year. This wasn't a Tuesday idea. I had one question left. Why the forearm? Why somewhere everyone can see? I told him he could put it over his heart, somewhere private, somewhere just for him. He looked at me like the answer was the most obvious thing in the world. He said, because when I raise my hand, she's there. First day of college, job interviews, my wedding, all of it. Then he smiled a little and used her own words on me. She never missed a thing, Dad. I'm not about to make her start now.